Welcome to another episode of Dig Deep.
Dig in. Where are you digging?
I was so confident.
I know.
Welcome to another episode of Dig In, where we go a little bit deeper on last week's episode.
I'm Sharan Dhaliwal.
And I'm Sabah Choudrey.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Now, you actually have a fun little update for us.
I do. I'll share some photos on the Instagram, but I went to see Dad and I went to go check out the statue and see the state of it.
You met Mohini.
I met Mohini. So I went to the garden and I found her. It's funny because like you can see the like what was happening in his brain. Like you could see why she was there. She was in the middle. She was facing the entry. So when you walk in, you would see her. But because he's got all this work happening, he's moved all this crap basically to that side. And she's now just facing all these wooden doors essentially. Anyway, I asked him about it and he said that he decided when he was doing his garden that she should be there because he thought it looked nice. I was right. He thought it would look pretty basically. And I said to him, well, you do know this is Mohini, the person that I've done the exhibition about. And he was like, oh, no. He was just fully like, I had no idea.
Go to a museum, Dad.
But like, we wouldn't have known until we saw that photo. Right? There's so many depictions of like deities as well. So I'm like, fair. But also, why are you burying a statue? It's just such... It's something my dad does. He paints everything and he does all this weird kind of DIY that he thinks looks cool, and that was part of it. Anyway, we went to the garden and I said, I want it. So we tried pulling it to take it out and it wouldn't because it's in concrete.
Yeah.
But it did move. And so we were like, oh, I think your garden's falling apart as well, by the way, Dad.
Yeah, I think your concrete sucks.
I think you need to get all this redone. And then we got a hammer and a chisel and just went at it, at the concrete around her. And she came loose. And I got her and I picked her up and I said, I'm taking her home, Dad.
And she's so damn heavy.
She's so heavy. I had to get her on a bus and then I had to carry her all the way back. And it's lead. It's just carrying lead around. And so I came back with her and she's still covered in concrete. Her feet are missing as well. So I need to find a way to like get her grounded, like some kind of foundation for her.
Ooh.
I need to take the rest of the concrete off. I need to clean her. I need to take all the paint off her because obviously there's paint on her because she was at Dad's. And then we will have a statue of Mohini in the house at some point. I'll get it sorted.
Amazing.
But yeah, I've saved her.
That's amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
I have so many questions.
Okay.
I mean, how does one ground a deity, first of all? And the second question is, what will Dad put in that hole in replacement?
I think, firstly, to answer that one first, I think Dad's going to redo all of that because his garden's looking bad right now. And so he's starting at one end to like fix it to the other side. And I think when we took out Mohini, he kind of just looked at it and was just like, this looks awful. So I think he's just going to redo everything anyway. So I don't think there's going to be anything put in there.
Huh.
I say that, but you never know. I don't trust him. You'll find something. There'll be like a old vintage Mickey Mouse in there or something like that. Something from our childhood will be in there, I think.
Okay, that sounds terrifying.
What, having a Mickey Mouse in the
Just
garden?
half erupting out of the ground, yeah. Hey guys!
Help me!
It's me, Mickey Mouse!
Mickey Mouse! Is that what he sounds like?
Yeah.
Mickey Mouse?
No.
Anyway, so that's that update.
Well, I look forward to Mohini's glow up.
Yes, that's what it'll be, a glow up.
So there you have it, our first literal dig in.
I know, I said to Dad as well, I was like, we need those little brushes, and I found a feather and started brushing it.
A feather.
There was a little feather.
It's not called a dig in for nothing. This week, I want us to go a little bit deeper into the representation of South India in our LGBTQ South Asian stories. And just real quick at the top, I'm going to say that we are both coming at this from a North Indian lens. We are both Punjabi.
Mm-hmm. I'm Punjabi India, you're Punjabi Pakistan. So.
Yes, but, same. As almost every Uber driver tells me.
Yeah, same.
When we're talking about South India, it's not a monolith. So we need to just really remember that South India itself is so rich with different languages, different cuisines, different cultures, rituals, dialects, traditions, and clothing. You know, there's 5 states. There's Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Karnataka, and Kerala. And it's really sad that we forget that over here in the West. And well, guess who's to blame for that? Say it with me. 1, 2, 3. Colonizers.
Oh, I was going to say colonialism.
Okay.
I'm excited, sorry.
Okay, it's okay.
Okay.
We'll do yours.
Okay.
And who's to blame? 1, 2, 3. Colonialism. That's right. We got it in one. Western impressions of Indian food, Indian holidays, Indian entertainment all continue to be dominated by North Indian influences. You know, South India culture, cuisines just hasn't been part of the colonial story.
It's because they came in that way, right? And then they just took over from the north, and they were just like, oh, this is India. And so that's what they started exporting back, isn't it? Like those kind of stories, those ideas of those cultures, everything they were stealing were from the north before they go anywhere near the south. That's how that kind of started. So yeah, it makes sense that that's what was happening.
Well, I mean, that just sounds lazy, doesn't it?
It is. Well, I mean, they're a bunch of lazy people, weren't they?
Yeah.
They were like, we don't want our own culture because we don't have one. Let's steal everyone else's.
Yeah. And if it's not part of the colonial story, it's not part of the Indian story. And Bollywood is a really great way to see these problems in action, you know, where we see just clear stereotypes and not representation, despite what they might think they are doing. There's a long history of Bollywood representing South Indians, putting them in roles where they are just caricatures, or they are the comic relief, or the dark-skinned villains, you know, with exaggerated accents. And it's just not accurate. And it's anti-blackness as well.
Yeah, and anti-blackness is huge in Bollywood. Whereas it definitely has been, it still has an issue. Like, I'm pretty sure every Bollywood star now has done promotion for Fair and Lovely. Well, they renamed themselves, didn't they?
They did.
But it doesn't work. It doesn't work on us. What was it? Fair and... Oh, they tried to Glow and Lovely.
They tried to rename it Glow and Lovely. Oh my God, come on.
That is ridiculous. So Fair and Lovely is a huge product in India. It's the biggest selling cosmetic product in India, and it's a skin lightening cream. And it's very popular. It's, like I said, promoted a lot in Bollywood. So it's no surprise that they are representing South Indians in a negative light.
When they're saying that dark skin needs to be erased.
Essentially, yeah. Yeah, I remember there's this one Bollywood film with Priyanka Chopra, and I can't remember what it's called, which is probably a good thing. I'd not recommend anyone to watch it. But there was this really anti-black scene where she wakes up in the bed that she was in, and there's a black man in the bed with her, and she's like, oh my God, like screaming, and it's this really horrible scene of a representation of blackness within like the purity of what Priyanka Chopra represented. It's just one example of all this negative representation they have in India. And it's always kind of been prevalent in small ways as well. Like the rest is really kind of like they're making nods to it, or they do it via stereotypes or via jokes and things instead.
Yeah.
And it's all just shows this kind of like this pervasive kind of need to be white or to be lighter and to be more, in many ways, British, I guess. But also it was way before the British invaded, and like around the time maybe when the Portuguese invaded. Being light has always been aligned to wealth because you're inside the house, and being darker it's not aligned to wealth because you're working in the fields.
And therefore that's bad, and
yeah,
this is good, this is your value, yeah, this is your humanity. And it's not even the older movies as well. Like there are, you know, more and more you see some Tamil cultures and characters represented in recent films. Like, I mean, these are just with Shah Rukh Khan, but like Rawan, which is the one where Akon sung. I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it either.
But Akon sung the song, and this is absolutely an aside, but I just rate Akon for learning to speak
I mean, the
and
song's
sing
a banger.
Hindi so well.
He nailed it.
Chamak chalo. Girl, you're my chamak chalo. Anyway. And Chennai Express. And also just to say, like, these are both films with Shah Rukh Khan, who is not South Indian. So he's playing South Indian characters, right?
Yeah. So I've seen Chennai Express. I haven't seen Rawan. And that film was awful. I know a lot of South Indians really dislike that film as well. The way it stereotypes South Indians is really horrible. I remember there's a few scenes of like really kind of brutish, large, dark-skinned men that seemed intimidating, and that was their way of like saying that these are I think it was South Indian people that were related to Deepika or something like that. I can't quite remember the film. I watched it once and I was just like, this isn't good. But Deepika herself is South Indian. She's Tamil. And there's been a lot of talk about her skin because she seems a lot lighter now to when she first started in Bollywood. And again, it just goes to show that, you know, firstly, a lot of people don't know that Deepika's Tamil. They assume she's North Indian because there's no kind of like, there's no discussion on it. She's just not very vocal about it, and no one really is. And then also with that skin lightening, she's trying to look like, you know, all the other Bollywood stars who have used skin lightening as well. It's just really sad. It's really sad to see because it's not needed, you know, and when she was in Chennai Express, like she was a caricature of herself and her own culture, the way that she expressed herself. It was like, it's not needed, and how disrespectful for your people to do that. I say that, but you know, I absolutely fancy the fuck out of Deepika. Like I have such a massive crush on her. But at the same time, I watched this film and I was just like, this is really upsetting.
And that's what the problem is, that Bollywood only presents one version of South India, which is Tamil Brahmin, again through this one single lens, which is an upper class lens as well. Again, generalized to all South Indians. And it just erases that diversity and the complexities and the beauty of what South Indian culture is.
Exactly.
And even when we're presented with India, again, we actually only see the dominant view, which is Punjabi, Hindu-speaking, North Indian view.
Absolutely. I think I had that discussion a lot with Burnt Roti. When Burnt Roti first came out, people were just like, you know, this doesn't represent all of South Asia. Because I came along and I was like, a magazine for South Asians. And people were like, do you know what that means? And I remember when I first said it to my brother, and my brother was like, you know, Afghanistan's in South Asia too. I was like, what? Like, I knew so little and then came in with so much confidence. And obviously I represented North Indian Punjabis as well. So I was, again, part of that problem, part of that dominant voice. So that meant I had to learn so much more about South Asia, like what it meant. And that was via other people. So I spoke to loads of people. People came and approached me and said, you're not including me in this story. And at first I was like, oh, like I felt really bad. And I was just like, oh, I should include all of you, right? And they're like, yeah, like this is all our history. And I was like, damn, this is amazing. And so I realized that it was actually a benefit to learn all these cultures and learn about every single part of South Asia, what that meant, what that looked like. So everything I did included everyone else. And also that was a benefit for me. That means I had a wider audience and wider reach as well. It just makes sense to be able to talk about South Asia as South Asia instead of just being like, oh, just the Punjabis, you know, just the light-skinned, just the people that talk about Bollywood. And because you see a lot of things that have like either like Punjabi language focused kind of like businesses or kind of a podcast or whatever. It's all, there's Punjabi terminology used in it, but it doesn't count that there's so many languages that you are leaving out of that conversation.
It's so interesting that you say that about language as well, because there are two really amazing creative people in my life. I mentioned one of them before, Krishna Istha, and the second one is Gayatri Kamalanathan. And they've both done work recently which is exploring gender fluidity and transness. And they both use their native languages. So Gayatri uses words in Tamil and Krishna uses words in Malayalam. And hearing it spoken by Gayatri, reading it in their book, Bad Queer, hearing it on stage from Krishna, talking to his mum, Geeta, it's just so nice to just see these little nuggets of culture just woven into the performance. And it's not like hey, this is a South Indian performance about being queer and trans. It's just like, this is just our lives. And it makes me realize that for me, actually, the queer South Asian stories I learned growing up and looking for as well were actually only North Indian. And I mean, quote unquote, lucky for me because that represented who I am. But that's not, again, it's not the true representation of our entire communities, like you were saying about Bent Roti. Like, it actually needs to really be about everyone. If I'm going to talk about being South Asian, queer and trans, or want to say things that include South Asian, queer and trans people, I need to be informed. I need to know about the whole diversity and keep my mind open. And I feel lucky that we have these, these kinds of stories that are breaking through. And even in the mainstream South Asian film industry, we do see that, like, it's not just Bollywood now. We've got Tollywood, Telugu cinema, Collywood, Tamil cinema, Mollywood, Malayalam cinema. And what do you think the cinema from Kannada might be?
Oh, I have no idea. Canada would.
Well,
I don't know. That was such a bad guess.
it's actually sandalwood.
Sandalwood.
Because of the tree is so prolific in that region.
God, that's so beautiful.
Isn't it?
It's one of my favorite smells.
Honestly, yeah. To wrap up, I just want to remind us that it benefits everyone to look into the real diversity of South Asia LGBTQ cultures. And when we dive deep, make sure you've got that understanding or putting on that lens that is decolonial, that's examining caste, that's looking at language and dialects and the histories there. Because without that, we'll miss it. And we start to fall into just homogenizing experiences and people.
Yeah, and I guess when we look at queer literature, queer art, anything that we want that is queer, and when we say South Asian and queer, like even with this podcast, we need to make sure we're looking at the whole diversity of South Asia when we're associating queerness to it, because the history of that queerness is completely different throughout the region. It's not all the same. The ways that different states and different parts of say South Asia that have responded to Section 377, for example, is completely different. And so we just need to open up our minds when it comes to that, because I still think that a lot of the work that is happening with queer South Asians is happening with queer South Asians that are North Indian. And we really need to open that up a bit more, make sure we are looking at everyone,
Yeah. When you see something that's a South Asian event, call it out. Be like, well, where is South Asia in this? Oh, it's just Indians and Pakistanis. Okay, well, then it's not a South Asian event. Exactly. Oh, it's a South Asian screening and you're only showing Bollywood films or Hindi-speaking films. Okay, well, then that's what it is. Call it for what it is.
Yeah, exactly. Because, like, where's Bangladesh? Where's Sri Lanka? Where's Nepal? Like, there's so many areas of South Asia that are just so rich in their diversity and so rich with their queer history. And we're going to dig into as much of this as possible in this podcast, but there's so much more. We need to make sure that every time we are talking about South Asia, putting on an event like you just said, we're looking at all those areas and looking at all that richness, because those stories are amazing.
Yeah.
Those people are amazing. And they matter too, as much as the North Indians do.
Yeah. One thing that I really appreciated was when you put on the Meeting Mohini exhibition at the Horniman, was how much you and the Horniman team centered South Indians throughout all the events and exhibitions that you did.
Yeah. It was really great, actually, because we were aware that we were focusing on an area that we were privileged to, because me and Navjot, the curator, North Indians, and we were just like, oh, we're like centering ourselves again. And so at one of the organizations I gave to Navjot was a Suryan Collective, and a sister organization within that is We Are Swagatam. And Swagatam came on board and worked with Navjot and did a walkthrough with Navjot to go through the entire exhibition after we'd worked on it, to make sure that, we'd done it like accurately and that we weren't being insensitive about anything, or, because we were coming from a point of privilege and also ignorance in many ways. And so Manju from Swagatam came and did that walk around and spoke to Navjot quite a lot, which was great. And then we did the Lates, Horniman Lates as well, where Swagatam had a big workshop that they did. And it was just so great seeing them there, and everyone that just responded to what they did was just so beautiful. And it was just a reminder that this isn't just a trans exhibition, this is a trans South Indian exhibition. And we need to make sure that we're talking about that culture and those people in that culture, because we can talk about trans people and we can bring in anyone. Like, I might as well have just brought in a white person, It had to be talking about that culture. And so it was important for Swagatham to be there and to have like Bolly Illusion dance as well, which was really beautiful.
Yeah, it's a really beautiful exhibition. And when it's centering the people who it's about, it just shows, like, it just feels different.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, everyone, thanks for listening.
Cheers! Sorry, I've got my Prosecco. Hold on.
Until next time, bye-bye.
Bye!